Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and the craft/dining room. Today's card project is all about celebrating your student. Our students need all the encouragement they can get, and my stamp set today is designed to do just that. Plus, I've got a really fun way to use up cardstock scraps, a big old die cut, and I think the card project turned out pretty cute. Stick around, that A+ card is coming up next. So here's a look at the products I'll be using to create my card today. And I've got this really fun A+ die. I wanted to have this to coordinate not only with the style of this set, but also I have another set, which is Teacher Appreciation. And I will also put a link to that video up in this corner so you can check out that set as well. But it's just a nice, look at that. It's huge. In fact, I'll show you. I cut one out off camera just because I was playing around with it. This is what the A+ looks like, and it nestles right there nicely into a nice, generous shadow. So the stamps, all designed to celebrate students, right? Hope you have, or it's been a great year. You have worked so hard and it shows. A+ effort, because I believe it is all about the effort and not necessarily the result. Cute little pencil, you're an awesome student, yay you. Grades are not the only thing that matters, which I love that greeting. I think more students need to hear that. Best student ever, and you are a stellar student. What a terrific year you've had. So, nice greetings. I have the coordinating dies, they're just tucked in behind here, that can be purchased separately to cut out pretty much everything in the set except the small little sub-sentiments. I also have some clear embossing ink and some clear powder because I have an idea for this. I want to do something with cardstock stripes and just keep it very simple. And I have an idea for making my own background as well. So let's get into making this card. I'm just gonna break these apart like that, right? Break them apart. And then what I like to do is take my little Beadalon jewelry clippers. I like to go right there to the edge and just twist it off so that it is not going to poke me, and then I put that in the garbage. Super easy to do. I twist rather than clip because then you just don't have to press as hard and it gets them right off. The next step is to have some scraps of paper. What I want to do, I actually want to come down here to 5 inches just so I can do this properly. Because I think what I want to do is just do, is that a 1/2 inch stripe? I think I want to just do, let's see what a 1/2 inch looks like. You know what? That might not be too bad. I want to make some stripes to die cut the A out of for just a nice cardstocky look. So I'll just cut a couple of each because I'm not quite sure how. Let's see, is that, oh good, that one's all lined up. This is Key Lime from Gina K. I'm not sure what this one is, but I'll have all my cardstock colors listed below. It's a great way to use up strips, or cardstock scraps, as it were. I think you get the idea. Let's move on. Next, I'm going to take a piece of label paper, and I'm pretty sure, is this my label paper from Simon Says Stamp? It might be. I have a bunch of label paper, of course, that I can use for masking. All I'm going to do here is just go like that, a little below the label, and up like that. So the reason I want to do this is because I think the quickest way to do this is just to use cheap label paper. So even if you have like shipping labels, you don't have to use your expensive masking paper for this. Like I wouldn't use my Gina K Masking Magic because I have that in a much smaller pack. But basically, here's what you do. Come on now. I know you want to come off there, right? Because this will just give you a very quick, well, I know I can do it. Let's peel you there too. Oh, I'm peeling from the wrong side. Duh. Okay. What this will do is it's going to give us a very quick and easy way to have strips glued down. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do them at an angle like that. Come here. We're going to go with our darker blue. Just get it right lined up. Press it right in, right? As tight as you can get it there. Like that. And even if you have to lift it up again because you didn't quite get it great, no worries. Did I do this in the right order? Well, you know what? No, I didn't. See, I'll show you. Look. Just comes right up. There you go. Got to work in rainbow order. Now we can come in and proceed, right? Just laying that in, press. The thing that I like about doing the strips on a backer like this on a piece of masking paper, it's just less gluey and messy, right, than dot runner. So when I run this through my die cut machine, I think it's gonna be great, right? It's not gonna get mucky. And the die cutting itself will sort of really seal it all together like this. Now there's two ways you could go here. You could have this be, right, the backer, which would be very cool, right? I want it to be the actual die. Like I want this to have, you know, a little bit of these colors everywhere like that. I think this is going to work. Now it might not. I'm actually going to run this through my Gemini because my Gemini definitely has much more of a, you know, it just cuts for me a little better. I'm going to trim that so that sticky isn't there. And I'm going to trim that because I don't need that. Or I'll just cut all that. All right, so let me go run this through the die cut machine and we will see how it shakes out. I ran it through a couple times because I wanted to see. Oh, I think it did cut, didn't it? Let's see. Did it? Oh, it did. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Isn't that cool? And now I can take that white shadow layer that I cut out and look at how cool that is. Before I make the background though, I cut out a couple more of these. I'm going to glue these together just to give this, you know, a little dimension. I thought about popping, like just popping this up, but I think if this has just a little dimension on the shadow layer, you know, it's going to look nice. I'm going to use Connect glue because I feel like with something like this, right, I don't need to do the spray necessarily. Well, I could do the spray, but I just want to have a little more wiggle time. And sometimes with Connect glue too, I'll just do this on like big die cuts. It's so fast, right, to just kind of scribble on a little. And if anything oozes out, it's no big deal because it's going to dry clear. But I like this little kind of scribbling technique. I'll line that up real easily. And the nice thing about, of course, Connect glue is you have wiggle time to get a perfect stack. Look at that. You barely even have to squeeze, right? Just, well, it depends on how full your bottle is. This bottle I've had for a while. Just going to come through like that. Pop that on like that. And then again, I just have to kind of swipe it off to the side here and line it up like that. Isn't that cute? Now, is that enough? I think that's enough dimension, right? I'm going to think about that right now while we move on to the next segment. So what I'm thinking here is I've got a piece of this blue cardstock, which is Seaglass. I love to take whatever my middle stripe is and have this be a panel. But I brought out my little Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station because it's a hard surface and I'm going to be stamping a background here, right? And I sometimes find when I stamp directly onto my mat that I might not get the best impression because what I'm going to do, I'm going to free range stamp. Yes, that's what I call it. Whenever I don't use a MISTI, I'm going to create a little pattern using the stars and the pencil. So I think I'll start with the pencil. Okay, I'm going to pick this up here. I'm just going to put it flat down here just so it's right like that. And then I'm going to press this down. I'm just going to kind of rub my hands over this just to kind of, you know, remove the coating. The photopolymer stamps come with a bit of a coating from manufacturing, and they really do get conditioned over time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp a few pencils and a few stars, right? Well, I guess I could start rubbing these too, just to get them prepped. I have clear embossing ink, but before I do that, I'm going to grab my embossing magic. Just, you know, run it all over the cardstock. And if I mess this up terribly, because I'm free range stamping, you know what? I could do it again. I could do it again. It's not going to be a big deal. I'm going to ink up my stamp. I learned a trick from my friend Gina K. I've learned a lot from Gina K Designs. One of the things Gina does when she's creating a pattern is she will start in the center of her cardstock, and then it is easier to build it out as you go, right? It's easier to kind of fill it in. Now, all I want to do here is just have a very random pattern. Oh, I guess you can't, I guess I'm going to have to take that off. That's okay. I don't really need to have the magnets on there, right? In fact, you know what? Let's just get them off. Because what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to do this with clear embossing powder. That is what I'm planning to put on because I think it will be kind of cool to have, oops, that was a little sloppy. Oh, that's not bad. I think it will be cool to have this tone on tone look. Okay, so let's have you go up like that. Okay, now that's fine. And because the ink will stay sticky for a while and because it's so easy to see, I'm going to take my next star. I probably should have a smaller stamp pad, but you know what? One size will do ya. Star. Star. These look a little lighter. Maybe I should have rubbed a little more off here. Star. Star. You know, you just kind of alter it. Just kind of go around, right? No big deal. Because I'm also going to trim this panel down. Let me clean this off real quick. And I'm going to put a few more in here with the smallest star. You know, something I don't do a lot of is create my own patterns. And I think because sometimes I'm a little nervous when I have my, when I have my free range stamp. Like that did not stamp great, but it's okay because I think it will be fine. The clear powder is just going to create the suggestion of a background. You know, it might not even show up, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I guess we'll have to see. Do we want to do one more little star right in here? Sometimes with pattern making, I don't know when to stop, so I think I'm going to stop. This is decent, right? That is, I mean, honestly, you can let embossing ink dry for a tone on tone look, but I'm going to take my clear fine detail powder and I'm just going to sprinkle it on because what this will do is it will create a shiny tone on tone pattern. And sometimes, you know, when you've got a big dominant element like the A+, this is exactly the right background. You know, you don't want your background to be competing with the focal star of your card. Well, let's do that. Oh, look at all that powder on my finger. I must have had ink on it. All right, maybe a little more just to make sure it really sticks here. All right, let that slide down. All right, now I'll wipe that off my finger. Kind of got powder everywhere. All right, go back in like that. And then I will take my Swiffer cloth, just make sure we wipe it all up. I don't like to start heat embossing until I know all the powder is gone off the surface that I'm going to be closest to. I'm just going to come right here. I think I got a little bit of that block on there. Let's get our heat tool and you'll kind of watch it disappear. Well, I mean, that's not true. It's not disappearing. It's just creating a shiny tone on tone. Look at that. Ooh. Melt that powder. Make sure it's all melted. And now what you'll see is you have a slight shine, right? And texture on this panel. Got my A2 layers dies out. And what I think is, oh, you know what? I need to use a bigger one. I need more of this panel because this A+ is so big. And I think that's cute, right? I think we'll use this one. So I'll go cut that out and we'll move on to the next step. Next, I'm going to go ahead and scribble on some adhesive here with my liquid glue. Come on now, there we go. On to the back. We're going to pick this up and I'm just going to line it right up on the base. And again, I know spray adhesive is wonderful, but liquid glue is forgiving and it gives you the playtime to make sure you are perfectly centered on your piece like that. All right, I'll push this up to the side and let's do our card base next. I'm going to put this on a white card base for a nice bit of visual connection between the shadow layer and the base. I like to repeat things where I can because repetition is the magic design glue that makes things feel good to the human eye. I can't speak for the animal kingdom, but humans are always looking for repetition and patterns and links, and that's what we're going to give them. So let me go grab the panel that I cut out so we can finish up this card. I've got foam tape on the back here. Sometimes if there's a little warping in my cardstock, I'll go a little heavy-handed on the foam tape. But you know, it's all in the name of bringing that joy to the recipient. At least that's the story I'm going with. Okay, so this is going to be popped up on our card base here. And actually, well, I won't take that closed yet. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to move that off because sometimes that outline throws me off. Which way do I want to have this coming in? Maybe like that. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to look on all four sides to get that nice framing margin space that I love. And press. So all that extra foam tape just really is going to keep that panel in place. And look, it's still so cool. It's got that bit of texture. I don't think, well, no, you can see shine right there. See that? A little texture, but tone on tone, right? You could also do this if you weren't in the mode to emboss. You could just do it with a similar colored ink. Like you could use this, like for example here, Seaglass ink you could use. Because yeah, Gina's inks work really well with her cardstocks too. All right, let's keep going here. I am going to use my liquid glue on here for this next step, just because I want to make sure this is straight, because all I'm putting down on the front is this. Yeah, I'm not doing a greeting on the front. Now here's the fun thing about this. Even though this is nice for a student, this could also be a wonderful teacher thank you card. If you just left it as A+ and then wrote a personal note, right, to a teacher either at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year. I don't have any young students anymore. My youngest is going to be a senior in college, so I mean, I don't think I would send him this card. I don't know if that would really be his jam, but I know my hubby, who's an elementary school teacher, would probably love getting a card from a student's family that said A+. So here's all we're doing. We're letting it go. I'm getting this little friend and just making sure that we are straight. See how that wasn't quite straight? I want to make sure that is straight and press. That's the front of the card. Isn't that fun? I love it. But now I want to show you how we're going to stamp on the inside. Again, I'm going to bring out my little Make Art station. Now, of course, you know, I could get my MISTI for this if I wanted, but I really am trying to build up my confidence with stamping. And what's fun about this is you can put the magnets down, right? And it holds it right in place. I think it would be cool to use the same ink color as my card base. And I am going to do, I think I'm just going to do a big best student ever in the center. And I might even stamp so proud of you, but I'll do that separately. So this really is geared towards a student. We'll just go like that. Pick it up with the block, right? And then really press it down to make sure that it's on there with no bubbles. And I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper, because here's the thing. If I'm stamping this for the first time, I'm going to practice. There's too many times where I have made a terrible hot mess out of things. So let's just do it a few times. Let's do it the right way up, right? I'm going to ink up the stamp, right? Press that in and just practice. Because these are going to get more conditioned over time. So see, that's a little splotchy. So sometimes what I do is I will wipe off my stamp. And again, well, your argument for having a stamp tool, of course, if you have a MISTI, you can hit it again and again. But it is going to start stamping. Here, I'll show you. It's going to start stamping better and better over time. And again, go like that. Now that's not looking as good as I wanted it to. But again, I'll do this several times before stamping. Actually, I'm gonna keep testing it. You know, you just want it to be, oh, and actually sometimes it's easier to ink up your stamp this way. At least for me it is. And now we'll practice again. And of course, you also have to give it time to transfer. See, that looks much better, doesn't it, from where we started? So let's just do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna ink it up really well. And, you know, sometimes I think people enjoy the look of a stamp, you know, that you can tell it was actually stamped. So I'm going to let that transfer. Give it a minute. And lift it up. I think that looks great. I think it looks great. I can clean this off. Take this stamp off. And I think I'll do What a Terrific Year You've Had. Again, I just like to pick it up this way so that I know I pick it up straight. I'm going to test it a few times again, although I think this one will stamp just fine. Practice makes perfect. Let's wipe it off again. And I think I have enough confidence. Okay, let's do it this way again. Again, I think I get better coverage this way. We're just going to roll with it right underneath. What a terrific year you've had. Let it transfer. Again, I do a better job with the MISTI. I think that's okay. It's not perfect, but that is solely user error. Still, I think my child, who I am not giving this to because my kids are, and you know what, I'll send it to my son at the end of the year. All right, but that's the finished card project. I absolutely love the big, chunky A+ die. The cool textured tone-on-tone background. I think that's an A+ card in anyone's book, even with my slightly glitchy stamping. Thanks so much for watching today. You can find all of the supplies linked below the video, and I will see you back here with another card project soon. Thanks so much for watching today. I would love to have you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. And if you do subscribe, be sure to hit the gray bell below the video so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here are a couple other videos that you might be interested in watching. Thanks so much and have a great day.